We're gonna start. We're gonna start this practice, and today I've got a treat. I'm going to work on the Kidney Meridian with you. I need a little kidney boost. So the focus of the practice is going to have to do with a couple of points. I'm going to show you the points, a couple of points that when we're going to be upside down and doing our thing, you're going to be like, where is she touching? I'm going to show you one of the meridian points, and it's very, very simple. When you bring your hand up along the thumb, here, this is where you would take your pulse. Where you don't take your pulse on the baby finger, it's just on the thumb side. Well, that's one meridian point for your kidney. So we're going to play with that spot. Another spot is here. It's called the K27. So if you kind of bend your arms and just do this, nudge yourself and, massage, it's called K27. It's just basically right there. And you know what? You can't mess this up. If you touch somewhere else, you're not going to, implode or something. You're not going to mess your system up. Okay. So you can either tap or roll. And the other point is underneath, or one of the other points we're going to focus on. All right, here's my foot. If I can not lose my balance. You see how it's pink and then it turns white? Right in the center here. Right there. That's a kidney meridian. Okay, that's a point that you're going to use. And the other one is on the inside of the ankle. Here's the ankle bone here. Slip down, and here's my Achilles. Well, it's just in here, right in there. Okay. So those are the points that we're going to kind of play with during the practice, and also like inner thigh along. I'll show you as we're going along. So we are going to do a practice that I'm just going to talk meridian pretty much the entire time. Kidney, so help to eliminate stuff. It's our filter. Right? So we're going to work to make it work well. I'm going to invite you to stand.
Come on in. Leap to your feet. Good stuff. Okay. So I'd like you to, we're going to start like usual. We're going to do our grounding exercise. I want you to stand, let your shoulders soften, and just close your eyes and take a few breaths there. Feel the connection of the sole of your feet to the ground. Feel that your legs are strong pillars, but they're not stiff. There's a slight bend in your knee. Feel your shoulders are relaxed and away from your ears without pulling them away. They're just relaxed. And their head, well, the crown of your head is drawing you up to the heavens. So you're anchored into the ground, and yet connected to the heavens, the universe. Let's bring our hands to heart and remind ourselves we're here for ourselves. So the phrase is, I'm here for you, and insert your name. I'm here for you, Jacqueline. Je suis là pour toi, Jacqueline. I hope you have a soft smile on your face and you are proud of the fact that you chose to practice yoga today. So let your arms drop down and be in mountain pose, and we are going to focus on the kidneys today. So your kidneys are your filter, right, for your body. And we're going to help them work just a little bit better. You're going to rise your arms way up. Take a deep breath. I'm going to back up so maybe you can see. I'm going to ask you to put your right hand over your left hand, and then glide your hands along the arms, latching onto elbows, and then bringing your arms down, and give yourself this beautiful hug. Give a nice big hug, and then release your hands and let them glide on the upper abdomen. And then I like you full palm down the outside of your legs, all the way to the baby toe, into a fold. Once you're there, flick your fingers to the ground, releasing negative energy. And then place your hands to your big toes on the inside and glide your hands up the side, inside of the foot, inside of the leg, knee, thigh, onto the belly, all the way up to the sky, whoosh, and flick it. Release your hands down. Let's do that again. This time it's the left hand that's going to go on top of the right hand. Glide the hands away, kind of long to the elbows, and then give yourself this big bear hug. I really want you to feel like the contact of the fingers and really loving hug. And then release and glide your hands across the upper abdomen, down the side of your waist, thighs, knees, legs, down to the baby toe and flick. To the big toe on the inside of the foot, up the inner leg, inner knee, inner thigh, belly, chest, up, flick. And release and come back down to mountain pose again. Good. I'm going to add on to that. Rise the arms, right hand over left. Create that beautiful glide. Feel your skin. Feel the, the clothes. Give yourself that big hug. Give yourself a little bit of a fake makeout session, right? Give it a nice little move. Unlatch the hands and the elbows. Glide across the belly and down the leg. To the baby toe. Flick fingers. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands on the inside of the foot and underneath the foot. So place maybe your middle finger or a couple of your fingers underneath that foot. You remember that meridian point that I showed you right at, where the pink becomes white, right in there. So you're going to, get in there, whether your legs are straight, bent, or whatever. So you're underneath there. And you're squeezing your foot, giving a little pulsing of the fingers underneath there, a little loving. Now glide your hands so that your fingers are now at your ankle, right beside the Achilles tendon. So you're giving it a little loving rub. And then glide a little bit more firm contact, inner shin, like calf area, knee, inner thigh, groin, bring it up. And now stop at the K27 point that I talked about right there. Give it a loving rub. And maybe a little tapping. Very kind. Let's do that again. Rise your arms up, left hand over right. Glide. Give yourself the big hug and a little extra loving. Not in a hurry to go anywhere. You're hugging your best friend. Undo the arms so that you can caress across the belly. Nice big. And then down the outer leg all the way to the baby toe and flick. Now put your hands underneath, your fingers underneath the feet. You can go from the side or you can go from the front. So as long as you have a little pulse point at that meridian point that I showed you. And then glide your hands on the inside of the foot all the way to the ankle by the Achilles and give yourself nice little circle rubs. And then again, a firm grip along the calf, the inner leg, knee, thigh, groin, up the chest and pause at the K27 and give it a rub. Tap. And then flick your fingers away. Give it a good flick. Good. Start to weave your hands and arms and slowly come up. Seeing the figure 8 that appears, the like almost the DNA shape, all the way up, all the way up. And then continue all the way down. Come down and fold and fold and fold and fold. Leave your right leg forward and send your left leg back. A deep dragon here. Now you've got the right leg forward, left hand goes on the floor, right arm's going to reach up and around, and you're going to go as far as you can. Look to the back of the world, the back of your room. And do that again, reach forward and around. And then when you come forward, you're going to make a decision. You're going to stay low, or you're going to come up, hand to the knee. Hands to the knee. You can also, if you like twisting, you can take the left elbow and cross and put your hands to prayer or fist to palm. You can also get off your back knee if you'd like. A few moments here. Let's undo this and either go through a downward facing dog or a child's pose. Totally up to you. We're not staying there very long. Exhale. And then come down. If you were up, and then take your left leg forward so you can enjoy that deep dragon. So left leg forward, right hand down. Left arm is going to create these beautiful circles, so it gives you a chance to turn your body and go, maybe see your back foot. And roll again. Bring it forward, and then you decide. Perhaps just stay here, it's beautiful. Perhaps lift. Maybe there's a twist. And maybe there's that acrobatic knee off the floor. It just knows that there's available, but it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. Actually, one is better than the other for you. And it might be as simple as being up here. Just a little rotation. Right? Good. Undo that. Come to child's or down dog. Big exhale when you're getting there. Eliminate. Just let that go. Come back down, or stay where you were in tabletop, and then or join me in tabletop and come down onto your bum. We are going to create, just have a seat for a moment. Rotate a little bit. Release any kind of tension. Okay, so we are going to play with the meridian points again. What we're going to do is we're going to start with getting into a seated kind of a twist. So I'm going to invite you to leave your right leg forward and then take the other leg over. Now, it doesn't have to be all the way over. It can be up, just out of the way. And if you cannot get this twist, just let the leg get out of the way. Okay? And you'll see what I mean. All right, so I've got my right foot so that I can see right here. Whatever hand that can access it, I want you to put your thumb to that meridian point that we touched when we were standing. You can see it here, just there. And your fingers are going to hold the toenail of your big toe. It might just take 1 or 2 fingers. Okay? So you're there? Now you got the concept, just stay there, just stay there. So it could be that you are completely rotated and you are this way, right? That's a deep rotation. It might be that you're here and holding, or the leg's not even there, you're just holding, okay? So you have options. Now, as I was talking and you figured out your position, you might not have been paying attention to the connection of the thumb to that point and the finger to the toenail. I want you to focus on that now. Just the connection. You're not pushing, you're not pulling, you are just holding. And what happens is when we practice this often enough, And we're very aware and in tune with this connection. You might start to feel a pulse. You might feel a pulse where the thumb connects to the kidney meridian, and you might feel a pulse from where you're touching the big toenail. They might not be in sync, and then eventually they get to be in sync. So it's a subtle, subtle thing. And don't worry if you don't feel it today. It's my first time showing it to you. So for those that are in a twist, I'm going to invite you to stop holding, stop touching, and rotate the other way so you can have a counter twist. Those that decided that the twist was not for you, just stay where you are for a few more moments. And then let's undo. You can let your legs shake out. So remember that your right leg was the one bent in front. Shake it out. And let's reposition for the other side. Left leg is in front of you. Right leg is crossed over. You can get into the seated twist that you like. Whatever hand can connect to the foot. It could be the right one, or it could be the left one. Right? And remember again, if you're like, oh, holy smokes, this is insane, just be here and use the other hand. So if you were touching, with the other hand, with the other leg, switch, you know what I mean. So let's just be here. I'm going to take a position that I think will be comfortable for me. Think of a long spine. And now focus on that subtle yet noticeable connection of the thumb to the meridian point under the foot and the connection to the nail of the big toe. Let's be here for a while. I hope you do one day end up feeling the pulse. And it's nothing like fireworks, it's tiny, it's subtle. And definitely don't ever put in your brain that, oh, if I don't feel it, my kidneys are dying. No, it's nothing to do with that. Those that are in a twisted position, please counter twist. So if you were turned to the right, release your foot and turn to the left for a moment. And then once again, we're going to meet with our legs in front of us and kind of take it easy, just shake them out, move your head. So we're going to take almost a similar position. We're going to create figure 4. Your left leg is going to be straight and your right leg is going to come across. So can you place it like that? You might even enjoy supporting. Okay, again, if it does not cross, I know some of you just did this and it's fine to do again, okay? Because I want you to have access to the inner part of your calf and your foot. So I've got my right leg on top of the left. I'm going to take my right hand and place it. You've got this much length. You put your hand, my fingers are not touching the bone here. Kind of mid-calf. Now, you're going to find a way to touch the pulse point that I showed you earlier right by your thumb. So you can simply just put your hand and touch there. You can also go around, like go forward, underneath, and touch and relax. Okay? Or simply put your thumb there and drape your hand. So there's a bunch of techniques that are available. So whatever's available to you. I kind of like just putting my thumb there and let my hands rest one on top of the other lovingly. And again, you are going to maybe feel a pulse from the calf area and also a pulse from the radial, where you can feel your actual pulse. Now, you're going to think tall, and some of you will be able to lean forward. Well, we all can lean a little bit. Some will lean further than others. I'd like you to just, hinge from the hips. Let yourself bow. But don't lose the focus of what's important here is feeling the contact of the hand to the inner calf and the left hand to the right hand, and either your fingers or your thumb at that radial pulse point, which is a kidney meridian. And take your time to pay attention to the contact points. Allow your breath to be soft so that you can not be distracted by that. And let's slowly come back up. Let go of that. And we're simply going to do the other side. So bring the leg, cushion it up, or leave it on the ground. Right? And we take that loving position. I've got my left hand mid-calf, full contact. If you can have skin to skin, awesome. And you're going to go after the pulse point, thumb to the radial pulse point, and then drape your fingers on top, and it's just a kind loving touch, and then lean forward. Again, there is a different version where you let your hand slide underneath and you go get with your fingers. You just hang out here. I'm just fond of making it easy. Rest your forearm on the leg that's bent, and then lean forward to where you can lean forward. And listen for the pulse, or feel for the pulse. So the harder you grip, the less you're going to feel it. We're working into effortlessness, into energy. And taking a moment to direct our love to our kidneys. toes, forearm to knees. You're going to get into cobbler's pose. So your feet are together, your knees are out. Here as well, you might appreciate having cushions under your knees, or it might be that you need to sit on the blocks to be able to have your hips open. Right? You decide. Now, the cobbler's pose, what you're going to end up doing is your thumbs will kind of be in that, you know where we caressed right at the ankle, right by the Achilles tendon, in that little space there. Your thumbs are going to gently be in there. You're going to rub if you feel like it. And then your fingers are going to create this little diamond shape, and you're going to be at, you know, again, where the pink of the foot turns to white, for a wet girl like me, okay? It turns to a paler color here. You got the mound of the big toe. You're just going to rest at the lower part where it turns white, right? So you create this little diamond shape. And then you're going to hang out here. And the concept again is a gentle touch. The thumbs right into that hollow beside that big bone, right? You know, where you see Achilles tendon, you've got that space between them. And then just on the beginning of the arch, the top part on the inside of the foot that you can see. And just hang out here. Your elbows can be resting on your inner shins close to your knees wherever they rest. Now it might be that you feel better not bowing. You might feel better with your feet closer and sitting up nice and tall. Totally up to you. Make it work. Yeah, good. Just bow. So as you're breathing here and as you're paying attention to the potential sensation of pulsing, if you get to a point where it's like, oh Jackie, I'm not getting any pulse, like forget it. What you can do is visualize the contact point of your fingers, a line going to meet your thumbs, and then a line of energy going up the inner shin calf area, inner knee, inner thigh, groin, all the way up to the K27 point on your chest. And you can visualize energy center there. So just see it flowing from the fingers, inside of the foot to the thumb, up the inner shin, knee, thighs, groin, up over your breasts to land at that K27. And rubber tap. And then eventually you just see that that line, those two lines, are pure white light. Beautiful flow of energy. I'm grateful that I've got kidneys that work, right? Do a little bit of a rubbing, ease off the position, come up tall, and let's come onto our backs for our final resting pose for this practice. Let yourself go onto your back and let yourself settle down. If there's any movement that you need to do to ensure that this Shavasana feels amazing, please do so. But as you're settling down, stay with the whole energetics of healthy kidneys. Notice the point underneath both feet. Perhaps even visualize a pulsing trace a line to that inner arch, the side of the foot. Continue a lovely, loving trace to the ankle area that we rubbed. Feel the energy slowly rising along the inner calf, inner knee, inner thigh, up the groin, straight up over your breasts, and up to the K27. On that rib cage, right above your chest, your breasts. Feel that be pure white light. And then allow that pure white light that seems to be just a line to expand and radiate out 360 degrees all over the place. Pure white light.